WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Rockville police charge a man with armed robbery. Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. Officers arrested 19-year-old Jaquaris Bell this morning. The alleged incident happened around 10 o'clock on J.W. Mosley Drive next to J.L. King Park. Now, no one was injured in the incident. Bell was taken to the Oktibbeha County Jail. 2 men are arrested in connection to a sexual assault on Valentine's Day. Sean Franklin and Daryl Walker are both charged with rape. A 59-year-old woman reported being sexually assaulted on February 14th to the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office. Both men remain behind bars. A teenager is facing charges in Lee County after allegedly making threats to schools on social media. The Sheriff's Department began investigating the incident after finding out about the post this morning. The investigation revealed that it was a 14-year-old in Lee County who posted the threats. Investigators say that the threat did not mention a particular person or school, and they believe it was an isolated incident. That 14-year-old is still in custody. An Oktibbeha County man sentenced to 120 years in prison for selling cocaine will soon be resentenced. Felix Nguyen was convicted on 2 counts of selling cocaine in 2006. He was sentenced in Oktibbeha County Circuit Court as a habitual offender. Nguyen's attorney at the time argued before the state Supreme Court that the judge was under the impression that Nguyen's sentence had to be doubled. That's why he was given 120 years and a $2 million fine. State law says that a judge may double the sentence. Nguyen's current attorney, Roy Perkins, tells WCBI the state's high court has granted a resentencing for March 3rd. Nguyen is asking for the court to sentence him to the 14 years he has already served. Perkins says he feels hopeful about a positive outcome. 2 Northeast Mississippi attorneys will argue before the Supreme Court next week in a case that could determine whether the government of Sudan will pay billions of dollars to victims of the 1998 terrorist attacks. Attorneys Jamie Franks and Bill Wheeler will argue that Sudan is liable for nearly $6 billion in punitive damages related to the terrorist bombings that targeted 2 U.S. embassies on August 7th of 1998. More than 200 people were killed in that truck bomb attack. Sudan was found liable in 2011 for harboring terrorists linked to Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda. The government of Sudan has tied the case up in appeals.
The court held back in 2014 that not only should Sudan and Iran be punished for blowing up our embassy with compensatory damages, they should have to pay punitive damages, which those punitive damages were the amount of the compensatory damage verdict. And that's what will be argued in the United States Supreme Court next week.
We're not only representing United States citizens, but foreign nationals who work for the U.S. government. Throughout the world, that's the main face of the United States of America, are these employees that work at the embassies.
Wheeler and Franks will have 1 hour to make their arguments before the justices. A decision is expected this summer. A Lowndes County campground is beginning to clean up after rainfall causes it to close. The Dwayne Hayes campground, it posted these pictures showing damage to the park. Just look at that. The park was temporarily closed on February 11th because of flooding. Now, employees warned that when the camp does reopen that there could still be debris on the road, parking area, as well as campsites. They're asking visitors to be patient while the staff cleans up and makes any necessary repairs. Well, temperatures are expected to drop below freezing over the next few days. Community organizations are partnering with the City of Columbus to reopen a warming shelter. The shelter will be located in the Farmers Market Annex building. The warming station has already opened a few times this winter, but organizers say there's a misconception about what all the shelter has to offer.
We have security all night long. We have volunteers to provide food and coffee. We have towels and hygiene kits. We have blankets and cots supplied by the Salvation Army. Nobody's going to be interviewing them and doing background checks, so that the city offered us this building that they owned, and it seemed ideal and a good location where people could find us. So we really appreciate this spot, and I think we'll be staying here.
So if you know anyone that needs a place to stay warm, that shelter will be open Thursday and Friday from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. Organizers say the shelter will stay open as long as it's needed.
Well, Scott, can you believe it? We're seeing rain out there. It's been so long since we've seen rain. You know, we could really use some of this rain. Yeah, that's a big load of sarcasm. We really do not need this rain at all. We are all sick of seeing it at this point. We've got some heavier rain down to the south along I-20 near Jackson. All of this going to be slowly making its way into our area over the next couple of hours and overnight tonight. You see that rain filtering in on Futurecast. I think by 3 or 4 a.m., certainly by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, everybody is going to be seeing some light to moderate rainfall. And these temperatures not making things fun at all. Starting off your Thursday with a very cold rain. Lots of rain everywhere. Temperatures in the 40s, so bundle up and grab the rain jacket. I've got some good news, though. There's sunshine in the forecast. I'll tell you when to expect it in just a little bit. Scott.
Finally, some good news. All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, February is Heart Month, the time to spread awareness about risks for heart disease and heart-healthy habits. Our Raleigh Martin tells us about arterial fibrillation, or Afib, how it's detected, and treatment options.
As a cardiologist, Dr. Barry Bertollet keeps up with the latest technology for medical professionals and the public. He is especially excited about a mobile EKG called Cardia.
And that's the EKG. It says it was normal.
It allows anyone to get an accurate reading of their heartbeat, and it can detect abnormalities such as atrial fibrillation or Afib.
And normally our heartbeat is the top and the bottom part of the heartbeat together, so it's lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. And when you have atrial fibrillation, the top part of the heart starts beating erratically. And so we sort of see this erratic beat at the top, and then the bottom part of your heart then beats irregular with that.
While Afib is not life-threatening on its own, it is the leading cause of stroke for older adults. About 10% of adults 65 years and older will be diagnosed with Afib.
The strokes that we see with atrial fibrillation, they're usually bigger strokes, and they're the ones that are more likely to cause long-term consequences, even putting people in nursing homes with that. So if we can detect Afib early and then treat it, then we can prevent those subsequent strokes with that.
Once a patient is diagnosed with Afib, there are several treatment options. Blood thinners are usually prescribed at first. If that doesn't work, a minimally invasive procedure known as catheter ablation is performed.
Procedure takes about an hour and a half or 2 hours, and all of this is done through the groin. We put these long tubes called catheters. We go inside the heart and identify certain culprit areas in the heart chambers that are causing this atrial fibrillation. One of the common steps involved is called ablation, which is delivering heat and cauterizing these irritable spots to keep their heart from doing this atrial fibrillation often.
Dr. Karthik Prasad also works with Cardiology Associates. He has treated many Afib patients with catheter ablation and says the earlier it's caught, the better the outcome.
Some folks, when they've spent too much time in atrial fibrillation, you can develop what we call heart failure, where your heart function goes down, your breathing gets further labored, and you're in the hospital often. And in some of those patients, when we've done this ablation procedure, we have seen things turn around completely.
Doctors also say leading a healthy lifestyle can reduce risks of high blood pressure and other factors that can contribute to Afib. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, tomorrow we meet a woman who had Afib and underwent that catheter ablation procedure. All right, we're going to send things back over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, it's starting to rain out there again, and it's also a little chilly.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those cold, wet mornings that nobody's going to want to get out of bed. So just prepare yourself, maybe give yourself a few extra minutes of sleep so you can go ahead and get out of bed tomorrow morning, because you're not going to want to get up. Take a look at the Emerson Animal Hospital forecast. This is Stitch. Notice the sun behind him. That's something we haven't seen in a while. Might see a few peaks of it tomorrow afternoon, but as I mentioned, starting off with a cold, cold rain. Temperatures in the 40s with showers in the morning, slowly clearing out. We do have sunshine on the way, though. I'll tell you when right after this.
Chat.
We've got some more rain coming in this evening. Now, I'll tell you this. I'd rather have rain at night because a lot of folks are sleeping. It makes for some great sleeping weather, especially when we don't have to worry about any severe weather. None of that stuff to worry about. Probably not even any thunder tonight, but there is a good deal of rainfall coming up from central Mississippi and northern Louisiana. that we're going to have to contend with overnight tonight, and especially as you get up and start your day on Thursday. Let's take a look at the time lapse from earlier today from the Alpha Insurance Camera Network in Louisville. A pretty drab day, if you ask me. Lots of dark clouds, a little bit of rain here and there, but generally just some fog, a little bit of mist and drizzle out there. As we get closer to the end of this time lapse, we did see a couple of showers start to move in as those batches of showers started to move in from the south, but generally most of us stayed dry until after sunset. That's not the case now, though. A lot of us are starting to pick up rainfall. Louisville, you see on the camera there, a couple of wet spots on the lens. Starkville, Columbus, and West Point all now reporting rainfall. Tupelo, Oxford, and Winona, not quite yet, but it's getting there, I promise. And notice these temperatures. We're down to 47 in West Point, 45 in Starkville and in Winona. So it's one of those cold rains, and it's going to get even colder overnight tonight. 43 for our low here in Columbus, but some of our friends up to the north could get down, I should say, into those upper 30s. Rain becoming more steady, especially after midnight and into tomorrow morning. Here's a look at Futurecast overnight, starting in about an hour or so, and you'll see more and more of that rain coming in from the south and the west. Notice, though, the heaviest is going to stay just to our south along the I-20 corridor. So there we're talking 2 to 3 inches. I think generally we're going to stay in the 1 to 2 inch rain. Of course, no rain is good rain right now, but it's a lot better that we're not dealing with those 3 to 4 inch amounts like we were last week. Now, starting off tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. out the door, 42 in Columbus, upper 30s in Tupelo and off to the north. And notice, got a little bit of snow trying to mix in right along the Tennessee border. Don't freak out over this. You might see a few flurries if you're up along the Tennessee state line early tomorrow morning. Generally, it's going to be nothing but a light and cold rain for everybody else. 42 by lunchtime in Columbus. Rain finally exits as we get into the evening, maybe even a couple of peaks of sunshine by tomorrow evening. More sunshine. We're going to give you the first alert for sunshine Friday and Saturday. It's going to be chilly, though. 47 for Friday. More chances for showers on Sunday, maybe a couple of storms on Monday, and then finally it looks like we're going to be back into another drying trend for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make a prediction.
Okay.
I'm going to predict that a lot of people don't go to work on Friday because the sun is out.
Look, if our boss is watching, if we call in, you'll know why.
That's right. All right, thanks so much, Trevor. Well, the MSU men are trying to fight their way into the tourney. Will tonight's game get them closer to the dance? We'll have highlights coming up later in sports. Welcome back, everyone. There can be several contributors when it comes to heart failure. We discussed some of those tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Julius Quero, invasive cardiologist and a cardiology team member at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. And tonight, I'll be talking to you about the risk factors for congestive heart failure. A single risk factor may be enough to cause heart failure, but a combination of factors also increase your risk. Risk factors include high blood pressure. Your heart works harder than it has to if your blood pressure is high. Coronary disease. Narrowed arteries may limit your heart's supply of oxygen-rich blood, resulting in a weakened heart muscle. Heart attack. A heart attack is a form of coronary artery disease that occurs suddenly. Damage to your heart muscle may mean it can no longer pump as well as it should. Diabetes, obesity, sleep apnea, congestive heart failure, viruses, alcohol, tobacco use, irregular heartbeat. If you have heart failure, your prognosis depends on the cause and the severity. Your overall health and other factors, such as your age, complication can include kidney damage or failure. Heart failure can reduce the blood flow to your kidneys, which can eventually cause kidney failure. Heart valve problems. Your heart valve may not function properly if your heart is enlarged due to heart failure. Heart rhythm problems. Heart rhythm problems can be a potential complication of heart failure. Liver damage. Heart failure can lead to a buildup of fluid that puts too much pressure on the liver, which makes it more difficult for your liver to function properly. Join us next time for the Health Talk with Baptist, when we'll discuss the treatment options for congestive heart failure.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Mississippi State and South Carolina battling it out. Two teams battling to keep its NCAA tournament hopes alive. Highlights are next in sports.
With Tom Ebel.
5 of the past 6 times Mississippi State and South Carolina have met on a basketball floor, it's been decided in overtime or by single digits. The two going to battle yet again, both teams in a must-win situation, hanging on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. Mississippi State taking on the Gamecocks for the first time this year. They'll meet again in 13 days, but here's how this one ended up. First half, Nick Weatherspoon finds Robert Woodard. Good start for the Bulldogs. Mississippi State out to an early lead. 15 minutes ago, DJ Stewart with the steal pushes to Tyson Carter for the one-hand flush. Bulldogs up by 5, but Mate Kotsar was the thorn in the Bulldogs' side early on. He'd start the game 7 for 7, hits the 3. It's a 3-point ball game. A few possessions later, Woodard finds a dude down low. Big man picks up the loose ball and finishes with a 2-hand flush. Still a single-digit ball game. No stopping a do from there. Under 7 to go. Weatherspoon to the left hand misses, but a do right there for the tip-in. Bulldogs up by 7 with a minute left in the first half. Adu kicks out to Carter, drives inside for 2. Finish goes. Bulldogs hang on by the skin of their teeth. They defeat South Carolina 79-76. Big win for MSU to keep its postseason dreams alive. Ole Miss and Alcorn State meeting for the first time on the baseball diamond. Braves would run Greer Holston off the mound before recording a single out, while putting up a 4 spot on Ole Miss in the first inning. Jamie Faber there for an 2 RBI single. Braves up 4-0 after 1. But back comes Ole Miss. Knox Leposer, his first hit of 2020. Sayonara out to left field for a solo home run to left. Rebels able to tack on 2 in the second inning. Trailing by 2, Tyler Keenan cuts the deficit even more. 400-footer. This one landed probably on the roof of Chipotle in Oxford. Rebels tie the game later in the inning, and it'd be a tie 5-5 ball game in the 6th. 2 men on for Ole Miss. A double steal called. Throw to third is off. Once Jerry and Ely get started, good luck trying to throw him out. Football speed crosses the plate. Rebels able to tack on 2 more. It's 7-5 after 6, but the lead doesn't last long. 2 homers from Alcorn, including this one from Tavares Cole, ties the game into the bottom of the 8th. Ole Miss having to play a little bit of hero ball. Tim Elko delivers. Base hit up the middle. Rebels retake the lead, trying to avoid upset on a very weird Wednesday of college baseball, but here comes Alcorn State. Check out how they tie the ball game. The dribbler down the first baseline. Ole Miss is like, yeah, he'll go foul, right? No, the ball stays just inside the line. Run crosses the plate for the Braves. It's tied 8. We go to extra innings, but it doesn't last long. Bottom of the 10th, Anthony Servideo. 1 swing of the bat, lead off, walk off, home run, good night. Ole Miss survives the upset bid against Alcorn State with the 9-8 win. And the Rebels survive on a night when a lot of people didn't in the top 25. Mississippi State just swept them. They defeat number 3 Louisville 10-3. 21 East Carolina falls to Campbell 7-2. Florida has to walk it off in the 10th 4-3 to get by Jacksonville. And Nicholls State defeating number 11 LSU. It's midweek baseball. It always gets weird. ESPN's Kylie McDaniel reports Mississippi State ace JT Ginn will be out indefinitely, dealing with a sore arm. Ginn threw 58 pitches in 3 innings in the Bulldogs' opening day game against Wright State, giving up 2 earned with 4 strikeouts. Ginn missed most of the 2019 postseason due to shoulder discomfort. Heritage Academy on the road, taking on Hartfield Academy to tip off the state tournament. Carter putt. No-look pass inside to Eli Acker. The big fella finishes with the 2 hands. Heritage Academy trailing for most of this ball game, but Reed Huskinson to Jared Long for the finish. Heritage down by 9 at half. They would shut out Hartfield in the 3rd quarter, 10-0, and the Pats able to advance to round 2. They defeat Hartfield 38-32. That's a heck of a dunk there on that one. Some more scores from playoff action. Oak Hill boys defeat Clinton Christian 39-37. Winona Christian girls fall to Clinton Christian 59-22. And Aliceville loses a heartbreaker in the quarterfinals of the state playoffs 64-63 to Central.
I'll be honest, Tom, all I can think about now is Chipotle because you said Chipotle. I'm hungry.
Oxford, give us one of your Chipotles, please. Just one of them.
We'll have a listen at your forecast when we come back.
We are issuing a sunshine alert finally for Friday and Saturday. Gonna be cold though. Definitely bundle up if you're headed out to those games this weekend. After that, a little bit more rain. We can deal with it though. We're used to it by now. After that, finally some dry weather sneaking back in here for the middle portion of next week. Big cool down though in the 40s for next Wednesday.
I don't know if we've ever had a sunshine alert.
Well, there it is. We needed it.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow.